Nei Young stared at the empty alien control room, her heart beating fast in her chest. The chairs were still warm. Coffee cups, the aliens had grown to love Earth's coffee, sat half full on the metal desks. Screens flashed with strange symbols she was only beginning to understand. They had left her behind. For 3 years, she had worked alongside them in this hidden facility deep in the mountains of Gangwon Province. The aliens had chosen her because of her skills in mechanical engineering. They said they needed human minds to help them understand Earth's technology. Now she knew that was a lie. Nei Young walked to the main window that looked out over the valley. The morning fog was thick, but she could still see the marks in the grass where their ships had been parked. Now there was nothing. No goodbye, no explanation. Just empty space where her alien colleagues had been hours ago. This doesn't make sense, she said to herself, running her fingers through her short black hair. The aliens, who called themselves the Visitors, had been in the middle of several big projects. Their main lab still held their most important experiments. No one would leave such valuable technology behind unless they were running from something. Nei Young turned back to the control room. She had access to most of the facility now. The aliens had trusted her that much at least. Moving to the main computer, she pressed her hand against the scanner. The screen lit up with a soft blue glow. "Computer, show me the last communications from the visitor ships," she said clearly. The aliens had taught their computers to understand human speech, another gift they had left behind. The screen filled with lines of alien text, but below each line was an Earth translation. Evacuation order, priority 1. El research stations, immediate warlight DRA, AL. Earth Facility 7. Abandon all irrelevant essential equipment. Maintain silence. No contact with local species. Non-essential equipment, Nei Young whispered. Is that what I am to them? She spent the next few hours checking every room in the facility. The aliens had left most of their technology behind. Devices that could change the shape of metal with a touch, energy fields that could stop time inside small spaces, and weapons. So many weapons. In the cafeteria, she found more abandoned coffee cups and half-eaten meals. In the labs, experiments were still running, their soft hums filling the empty halls. But it was in the main research lab that she found something that made her stop in her tracks. A large machine took up most of the room. It looked like a mix between a particle accelerator and a giant battery. Blue energy pulsed through tubes that ran from floor to ceiling. This was the project she had never been allowed to see, the one the aliens worked on behind locked doors. Nei Young walked up to the control panel. Unlike the other machines, this one had no labels, no instructions, just a simple interface with a pulsing blue light. She reached out to touch it, then pulled her hand back. The aliens had taught her to be careful with their technology. One wrong move could be dangerous. But they had also taught her how to learn, how to understand their machines. "Computer," she said, "show me the project files for this device." The screen lit up with thousands of documents. As she began to read, her eyes grew wide. This wasn't just a research project. This was something much bigger. The aliens hadn't been studying Earth's technology. They had been testing weapons. Powerful weapons that could change the course of wars across the galaxy. And now she had access to all of it. Nei Young looked at her reflection in the dark screen. She was no longer just an engineer learning from alien teachers. She was now the keeper of their most dangerous secrets. And if they had left in such a hurry, it meant something had scared them. Something was coming. She straightened her back and took a deep breath. "Computer, start recording. Project log, day 1 after abandonment. Begin complete system analysis of all alien technology in the facility." The computer beeped in response, and Nei Young allowed herself a small smile. The aliens had taught her everything they knew about their technology. Now she would use that knowledge to protect Earth from whatever had made them run. They had left her behind, but they had also left her with the power to change everything. Nei Young had spent 3 days exploring the abandoned alien facility when she heard the first human voice since the evacuation. The sound of footsteps echoing through the metal corridors made her freeze at her workstation. "Hello," a male voice called out. "Is anyone still here?" She grabbed the alien defensive tool she had been studying, a small device that could generate an energy shield, and moved quietly toward the sound. The footsteps grew closer. A man in a white lab coat appeared around the corner. He looked as surprised to see her as she was to see him. He was Korean, like her, with tired eyes and messy hair that suggested he hadn't slept in days. "I'm Jae-ho," he said, raising his hands to show he meant no harm. "I worked in the eastern wing of the facility. I thought I was the only one left." Nei Young lowered the device. "I'm Nei Young. I thought the same thing. How did you survive the evacuation?" "I was in the deep testing chambers when they left," Jae-ho explained. "The alien signal couldn't reach 3 levels underground. By the time I came up, they were gone." He looked at the device in her hand. "I see you've been studying their technology too." Nei Young nodded. "Come with me. There's something you need to see." She led Jae-ho to the main research lab where the massive energy machine still hummed with blue light. His eyes widened when he saw it. "So this is what they were working on," he whispered. "I only saw the design plans. They never let me near the actual device." "What do you know about it?" Nei Young asked. Jae-ho walked around the machine, studying its components. "It's not just a weapon. It's a complete energy manipulation system. The aliens could use it to power entire cities or destroy them. But there's something strange about the design." He pointed to a series of crystals that pulsed with inner light. "These components, they're not alien technology. They're modified versions of Earth crystals. The aliens were using our planet's materials to build something they couldn't make with their own technology." Nei Young felt a chill run down her spine. Why would advanced aliens need Earth materials? "Maybe they don't have these resources where they come from," Jae-ho suggested. "Or maybe," he paused, his expression growing serious, "maybe they were testing how Earth materials would react to their weapons." Nei Young shared the evacuation order she had found. Jae-ho read it carefully, his frown deepening. "This wasn't just a research station," he said. "They were using Earth as a laboratory. Testing weapons here meant they could experiment without risking their own planets." Nei Young turned to the computer console. "Then we need to understand exactly what they built. If they come back, we need to be ready." Together, they began analyzing the alien data. Jae-ho's expertise with energy systems complemented Nei Young's mechanical engineering knowledge. Hours passed as they decoded alien formulas and studied test results. "Look at this," Nei Young said, pointing to a sequence of numbers. "The energy output is incredible, but the control systems are basic, almost like they wanted it to be unstable." Jae-ho finished. "They weren't trying to perfect the technology. They were pushing it to its limits." A warning alarm suddenly blared through the facility. Red lights flashed in the corridors. "What's happening?" Jae-ho asked, moving to check the security screens. Nei Young's fingers flew over the control panel. "Something's activating in the lower levels. The computer says it's receiving a signal from deep space." They looked at each other, understanding dawning in their eyes. The aliens hadn't abandoned their research. They were monitoring it from afar, and now something in their facility was waking up. "We need to understand this technology fast," Nei Young said, her voice firm. "Because I don't think we were left behind by accident. We're part of their experiment now." Jae-ho nodded, rolling up his sleeves. "Then let's show them what human engineers can do with alien technology." The facility hummed around them, its secrets slowly coming to light as 2 abandoned humans began to unlock the true power of what the aliens had left behind. After 2 months of intense work, Nei Young and Jae-ho had transformed the main research lab into their command center. Screens covered the walls, showing data from their experiments. The alien energy machine now had several Earth computers connected to it, their cables carefully integrated with the alien technology. Na-young sat at her workstation, studying the results of their latest test. Her eyes were tired from staring at screens, but she couldn't stop now. Not when they were so close. "The power readings are stable," she said, pointing to a graph. "The interface is holding." Jai-ho looked up from his own work. "That's the longest we've managed to keep human and alien systems working together. How did you solve the compatibility issue?" Na-young stood and walked to the energy machine. "I realized we were thinking about it wrong. We kept trying to make our technology match theirs. But what if we made their technology adapt to ours instead?" She touched a panel on the machine, and it displayed a hologram of her modifications. "See these connection points? I reversed the energy flow. Instead of our computers trying to understand alien power, the alien system now has to convert its output into a form our technology can use." Jai-ho studied the hologram, his expression changing from confusion to understanding. "You turned their system into a translator. That's brilliant." Before Na-young could respond, all their screens suddenly flickered. The alien computer began displaying a series of rapid messages. "Incoming transmission," Jai-ho said, moving quickly to the main console. "It's not from Earth." They watched as alien text scrolled across the screen. Thanks to their months of study, they could now read most of it without the translation program. "Earth observation post 7. Status. Com pro mais eat. REC OMME Immediate CLEANSing. ESTI matd arrival. 180 planetary cycles. Cleansing." Na-young's voice was quiet but firm. "They're not coming back to continue their research. They're coming to destroy the evidence." Jai-ho checked the time conversion. 180 planetary cycles. That's about 6 Earth months. They're giving us a deadline without even knowing it. Na-young turned back to the energy machine. In the blue light of its power core, her face showed determination rather than fear. "Then we have 6 months to turn their weapon into our shield." She pressed several controls, and the machine's hum changed pitch. "Look at this. When we connect it to Earth technology, we can see patterns in the energy flow that the aliens missed. They were so focused on weapons, they never tried to understand how the energy actually works." The hologram changed, showing waves of power moving through the system. Na-young pointed to a particular pattern. "There. Every alien ship we ever saw used that same energy signature. It's like their technological fingerprint." Jai-ho's eyes widened. "If we can identify their energy pattern, we can target it." Na-young finished. "Any weapon they try to use against Earth would only make our defense stronger." She worked through the night, adjusting connections and refining her calculations. Ji-ho brought her coffee. They had learned to make it just like the aliens enjoyed, and helped test each modification. As the sun rose over the mountains, casting long shadows through the facility's windows, their computer chimed. The test results were ready. Energy conversion rate at 95%. Na-young read. System stability at 98%. Power output. She paused, checking the numbers again. Power output exceeding alien baseline by 27%. Jai-ho stared at the results. "We didn't just copy their technology. We improved it." Na-young allowed herself a small smile. "They thought they were testing weapons on Earth. Instead, they gave us everything we need to protect ourselves." She straightened up, her voice stronger. "We have 5 months and 29 days to build the most powerful defense system Earth has ever seen." The alien energy machine pulsed with blue light, but now it responded to human commands, its power guided by human minds. In trying to create the perfect weapon, the aliens had given humanity the tools for its own survival, and Na-young intended to make the most of their mistake. The mountain facility shook as another test wave pulsed through the energy machine. Na-young and Ji-ho watched from behind a protective shield as blue light filled the main chamber. On the monitoring screens, numbers climbed steadily higher. Power output holding steady, Jai-Ho reported. The modifications are working. A new voice spoke from the doorway. Impressive. But you're going to need more than raw power to stop an alien invasion. Na-Young turned to see a man standing there, wearing a black suit and carrying a tablet computer. His name was Hyunwoo, and until a week ago, they hadn't known he existed. Hyunwoo was a quantum physicist who had been watching the facility from a hidden government observatory in the next valley. When he detected their power tests, he decided to reveal himself. The energy signature is still too broad, Hyunwoo said, walking to the main console. You might stop their ships, but you'll also affect Earth's power systems. We need to make it precise. Na-Young nodded. She had come to respect Hyunwoo's knowledge over the past week. What do you suggest? Hyunwoo connected his tablet to the system. Look at these readings from the last 5 alien ships that visited Earth. Each one had a slightly different energy pattern, but there's something they all share. The screen showed overlapping waves of energy. Hyunwoo pointed to a particular pattern that appeared in each one. That's their core technology, he explained. Everything they build uses this basic energy structure. If we can target just that pattern, we can shut down their technology without affecting ours, Jai-Ho finished, understanding dawning on his face. They worked through the day, adjusting the energy machine to focus on the alien power signature. Na-Young's knowledge of the alien systems, combined with Jai-Ho's engineering skills and Hyunwoo's understanding of quantum physics, allowed them to make progress faster than ever before. As evening approached, they prepared for another test. This time, they had set up a small alien device, a simple power cell, as a target. Starting power-up sequence, Na-Young announced. The machine hummed to life, its blue glow filling the room. Energy focused on target, Jai-Ho reported. Quantum field stable. Initiating pulse in 3, 2, 1. Hyunwoo pressed the activation control. A beam of blue energy shot from the machine, hitting the alien power cell. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the cell's light flickered and died. Perfect shutdown, Na-Young said, checking the readings. No damage to any other electronics in the room, just the alien technology. Hyunwoo smiled. Now we need to scale it up. Way up. They spent the next several hours planning. The facility's main computer room became their strategic center, its walls covered with diagrams and calculations. We'll need at least 3 more facilities like this one, Hyunwoo explained, pointing to a map. Positioned here, here, and here. Together, they can create a defense net around the planet. Can we build them in time? Jai-Ho asked. We only have 4 months left. Na-Young studied the plans. We don't need to build everything from scratch. The aliens left facilities all over Earth. We just need to find them and modify their equipment like we did here. I can help with that, Hyunwoo said. The government has been tracking alien sites for years. Some are still active, running on automatic systems. As they talked, a warning light flashed on the main console. Na-Young rushed to check it. Energy spike detected in high orbit, she reported. Something just appeared at the edge of our sensor range. They gathered around the screen, watching as data streamed in. Whatever was up there, it was using the same energy signature as their alien visitors. Scout ship, Hyunwoo said quietly. They're starting to arrive early. Na-Young straightened her shoulders. Then we work faster. We have the knowledge, we have the technology, and now we have a plan. Outside, the sun set behind the mountains, casting long shadows across the facility. Inside, 3 humans continued their work, racing against time to turn abandoned alien weapons into Earth's greatest defense. The real test was coming sooner than they had expected. But this time, Earth would be ready. The facility's monitoring room was dark except for the glow of screens. Na-Young sat at the main console, watching as more dots appeared in Earth's orbit. In the 3 weeks since they spotted the first scout ship, the number of alien vessels had grown steadily. That makes 17 ships now, she said as Hyunwoo entered the room with fresh coffee. They're gathering just beyond our atmosphere. Hyunwoo placed a cup beside her and studied the display. They're being careful, staying just out of range of our defense system. The door opened again, and Jiho hurried in. You need to see this. The translation program just decoded a new set of transmissions between the ships. They gathered around his screen as the alien text appeared with Earth translations below. Testing ground state US. Compromised. Indigenous species. More advanced than estimated. Worry obem and indiation. Proceed with KAs 2. Estimated KAs UAL ties. Acceptable. Testing ground. Nayoung repeated quietly. We were right. Earth wasn't just a research station. Hyunwoo pointed to another message thread. Look at these older transmissions. They've been using multiple planets this way, finding civilizations they considered less advanced, setting up research bases, testing weapons. And then what? Jiho asked, though his face showed he already knew the answer. More decoded messages filled the screen. They showed images of other worlds, some thriving with life, others reduced to wasteland. The aliens hadn't just been developing weapons, they had been perfecting them through real-world tests. Nayoung stood up suddenly. Check the energy readings from 3 months ago, the day before they left. Jiho pulled up the data. The graphs showed massive power spikes, unlike anything they had seen before. They were going to test something big, Nayoung said. Something they needed to clear the facility for. But something made them leave before they could do it. Hyunwoo's tablet beeped with an alert. Energy surge from the scout ships. They're scanning us. The main screen showed waves of alien energy washing over Earth's surface, but there was something different about these scans. The frequency is wrong, Nayoung said, her fingers flying over the controls. This isn't just observation. She paused, her eyes widening. They're trying to activate something. Deep in the facility, alarms began to sound. The alien energy machine they had modified started pulsing with unusual patterns. It's responding to their signal, Jiho reported, checking the readings. There's some kind of program buried in its core systems, something we missed. Nayoung ran to the machine room, the others closed behind. The device they had spent months studying was now glowing with a different light, not the usual blue, but a deep red. It's not just one machine, Hyunwoo said, looking at his tablet. Similar energy signatures are appearing at other alien facilities around the world. They left these devices as triggers. Triggers for what? Jiho asked. Before anyone could answer, the main computer displayed a new message from the alien ships. This one needed no translation. It was sent in clear Earth language. Attention Earth scientists. Your cooperation in weapons testing is appreciated. File PHA's beginning. Surendi or Protociolas INITIA. Nayoung looked at her colleagues, her face set with determination. They think we're going to give up. That we'll surrender when we see their true power. She walked to the energy machine, her hand hovering over the control panel. But they made a mistake. They taught us too well. And now, the machine's red glow reflected in her eyes as she began typing commands. Now we show them what happens when you underestimate humanity. Outside, more alien ships appeared in orbit, their weapons charging. Inside the mountain facility, 3 humans prepared to prove that the students had surpassed their teachers. The real test was about to begin. Red emergency lights flashed throughout the mountain facility as Nayoung's fingers moved across the control panel. Above Earth, 23 alien ships had moved into attack position. Their weapons glowed with building energy. Their first wave is targeting major cities, Hyunwoo reported, watching the tactical display. Seoul, Tokyo, New York, London. Not if we can help it, Nayoung said. She looked at Jiho. Are the modifications ready? Jai-ho nodded, his face lit by the blue glow of their modified energy machine. All 4 facilities are synchronized. The defense network is online. They had worked without sleep for the past 3 days, preparing their counterattack. The aliens thought they were activating hidden weapons across Earth. Instead, they were powering up humanity's new shield. The main screen flashed with a warning. The alien ships had launched their first attack. Energy weapons detected, Hyunwoo called out. Impact in 30 seconds. Naeum took a deep breath. Activating defense system now. She pressed her hand against the control panel. The energy machine hummed louder, its blue light spreading through the facility. Around the world, 3 other facilities powered up in perfect sync. 20 seconds to impact. Jai-ho counted down. The alien beams of energy streaked through Earth's atmosphere, heading toward their targets. On the screens, they appeared as bright lines of destructive force. 10 seconds. Naeum watched the energy readings climb. Everything they had learned, everything they had built, came down to this moment. 5 seconds. Shield activation complete, she announced, engaging countermeasures. The alien weapons struck Earth's atmosphere, and something unexpected happened. Instead of destroying their targets, the energy beams stopped. They hung in the air like frozen lightning. It's working, Hyunwoo said in amazement. The shield is catching their attacks. But Naeum wasn't finished. Now for part 2, redirecting their energy. She activated the second phase of their defense. The frozen energy beams began to change color, from angry red to cool blue. The alien power was being transformed. Energy conversion at 90%, Jai-ho reported. The aliens' own weapons are feeding our shield. Above Earth, the alien ships tried to pull back, but it was too late. The converted energy shot back into space, not as weapons, but as waves of precise frequency that Naeum had designed. When the waves reached the alien ships, their lights flickered. Their engines sputtered. Their weapons went dark. Direct hit, Hyunwoo said. Their systems are shutting down. The energy signature match worked perfectly. On the main screen, they watched as the alien ships drifted powerless in orbit. Their own technology had become their prison. A message appeared on the communication display. The aliens were sending a transmission in Earth language. Impossible. This technology requires CNTURIs to master. Naeum typed back a response. You should have studied more carefully. The aliens had thought humans were simple test subjects. They never considered that leaving one engineer behind would lead to this. Their own weapons had been turned against them, transformed into a defense system beyond their understanding. More ships detected at the edge of the solar system, Jai-ho reported. A lot more. Naeum stood straighter, looking at the screens showing Earth's new shield glowing blue around the planet. Let them come. We're ready for them. The first battle was over. Earth had won. But Naeum knew this was just the beginning. The aliens would return with new weapons, new strategies. But now humanity had something they didn't expect. Their own technology, improved by human innovation, protecting Earth's skies. The students had become the masters, and the real war was about to begin. 1 month after Earth's first victory, Naeum stood in a new control room, much larger than the mountain facility where it all began. Through the reinforced windows, she could see Seoul's skyline glittering in the evening light. The government had moved their operation to a secure underground facility beneath the city. Another transmission coming in, Jai-ho announced from his station. This one's different from the others. The main screen displayed an unusual message. Unlike the threatening communications from their former attackers, this signal came from a different alien species altogether. They're asking for help, Hyunwoo said, reading the translation. Their world is next on the testing schedule. Naeum studied the message. The aliens calling for aid were from a planet called Kepler 186f in Earth terms. They had been watching Earth's defense system in action, and now they wanted the same protection. "We're receiving more signals," Jiho reported. 12 different species, all requesting Earth's assistance. They've all been targets of weapons testing. Nayoung walked to the energy machine they had brought from the mountain. It hummed with steady blue light, more powerful than ever after their modifications. What had started as one abandoned piece of technology had grown into something that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. "The defense system can be adapted for their worlds," she said, pulling up technical diagrams. "We would need to adjust for different atmospheric conditions, different energy patterns, but the basic principles would work anywhere." Hyunwoo nodded. "We could teach them what we learned, help them build their own shields." A warning light flashed on the console. New ships had entered the solar system, but these were different from the attackers. They carried identification signals from various worlds, all coming to Earth not to fight, but to learn. "We should help them," Nayoung decided. "But first, they need to understand something important." She typed a message to be broadcast to all the approaching ships. "Earth WELCO PCE fueled Sion intact. Our defense technology is not a weapon. It is a shield for those who seek protection from aggression." The responses came quickly. Representatives from a dozen worlds wanted to meet, to learn how Earth had transformed weapons technology into a defense system that could protect entire planets. "It's ironic," Jiho said, looking at the stream of incoming messages. "The aliens left their technology here thinking Earth wasn't advanced enough to understand it. Now everyone wants to learn from us." Nayoung smiled. "They taught us about their energy systems, their weapons, their power sources. But we taught ourselves something more important, how to turn destruction into protection." The control room filled with activity as preparations began for Earth's first diplomatic meetings with peaceful alien species. Engineers from around the world were being called in to help teach others what Nayoung and her team had learned. "We're getting another signal," Hyunwoo reported, "from the original aliens. They're requesting negotiations." Nayoung read their message. The aliens who had abandoned Earth, who had planned to use it as a testing ground, now wanted to talk peace. Their weapons had been turned into shields, their test subjects had become teachers, and their plans for conquest had transformed into a movement for galactic defense. "Tell them we'll meet," Nayoung said. They wanted to see how humans would use their technology. Now they can see for themselves. Outside, the sun set on a changed Earth. In orbit, ships from distant worlds gathered peacefully for the first time. The galaxy was learning that the most powerful weapon wasn't destruction. It was the ability to protect others. And it all started because they left one engineer behind. The grand meeting hall beneath Seoul buzzed with activity. Representatives from 27 alien species filled the room, their diverse forms and colors creating an unprecedented gathering. At the center of it all stood Nayoung, preparing to present Earth's defense technology to the Galactic Peace Council, a new organization formed in response to Earth's innovations. The original aliens who had abandoned Earth sat in the front row. They looked different now, less intimidating than Nayoung remembered. Their leader, who introduced himself as the Chief Research Director, watched her with what seemed like respect. "Earth's defense system has changed everything," Nayoung began, her voice clear and strong. "What started as weapons research has become a shield that can protect any world that wishes to live in peace." The massive screen behind her displayed the modified energy machine, now streamlined and improved after months of refinement. Jae-ho and Hyunwoo stood nearby, ready to explain the technical details. "The technology works by understanding energy signatures," she continued. "Every civilization develops its own unique power systems. Our shield can identify these signatures and redirect hostile energy, turning attacks into power for defense." The alien representatives murmured with interest. Many of them had already seen the shield in action, protecting their own worlds from weapons testing. "But the most important part isn't the technology," Nayoung said. "It's the choice we made. When we found ourselves with powerful weapons, we chose to turn them into protection. We chose to share our knowledge instead of using it for conquest. The chief research director stood up. "We must acknowledge our error," he said, speaking in clear Earth language. "We saw humans as test subjects. We were wrong. You have surpassed our understanding of our own technology." Young nodded. "And now we offer that understanding to everyone. No more weapons testing. No more using less advanced worlds as laboratories. Instead, we build a network of protected planets, each helping to shield the others." She pressed a control, and the screen showed a map of the galaxy. Blue lights marked worlds that had already adopted Earth's defense system. The network was growing every day. "The shield requires cooperation," she explained. "Each world adds its own knowledge, its own innovations. Together, we're creating something stronger than any weapon. A galaxy-wide system of mutual protection." The council members rose in agreement. One by one, they pledged to join the defense network, to share their knowledge, to end the era of secret weapons testing. As the meeting concluded, the chief research director approached Young. "When we left you behind," he said, "we thought we were abandoning a simple engineer. Instead, we gave Earth exactly what it needed. Someone who could see beyond weapons to find a better way." Young looked at Jai-Ho and Hyunwoo, who had stood with her through everything. "Humans are good at finding better ways," she said. "We just needed the chance to prove it." Outside the meeting hall, Seoul's lights shimmered under the protection of Earth's shield. In orbit, ships from dozens of worlds moved peacefully through space. The galaxy was entering a new age, one where the strongest weapons had been transformed into the greatest defense. And it had all started because they underestimated one human engineer, left behind in a mountain facility with alien technology and the determination to protect her world. The time of weapons testing was over. The era of mutual protection had begun.